not just the food and fibre we produce, but most of the freight that sustains families and farming communities right across the country as well. Now, even one small town's 15 minutes of fame has arrived on the back of a truck, all for a good cause.
When you're a long-distance truckie, the rhythm of the road's often your only companion. But this time out, John Atkinson can count on hundreds being along for the ride, with the prospect of hauling the world's longest road train into the record books as a bonus.
Pretty piped up, yeah, for the job, yeah. I'm just hoping the truck will do it. We're a little bit underrated, but if we go about the right way, we might be lucky. But yeah, I'd like to see it happen, to be honest with you. I'd really like to see it happen.
And apart from an understandably fastidious approach to pre-delivery, everything else about the world title contender is stock standard.
Runs a Caterpillar C16 engine, 600 horsepower, the highest rated horsepower for a Australian vehicle. The transmission is a Mack T300 transmission, runs very low first gear reduction. The vehicle runs a Berlioz rear suspension and axle system. The Berlioz is very, very, very strong, runs hub reduction on the drive hubs, runs diff locks, also runs a 5.79 to 1 ratio on the rear axles. A Holland FW351 turntable, very, very strong. Standard application, what we do for a quarry, rated about 200 tonne or road train. So it's perfect for the application.
Mungindi is a small border town on the banks of the Barwon River. Locals reckon if you look on a map, it's where New South Wales goes crooked and Queensland goes straight. Tonight, Bill Anderson's pub is packed, and it's all for a good cause, and one very near and dear to his heart. The record attempt's the brainchild of these blokes who decided it'd be a great way of raising Mungindi's profile, as well as money for the cancer appeal named in honour of Bill's daughter.
For the 15 months she was in the Royal North Shore Hospital in Sydney, all they saw was how much poverty was there, how little money people had that were getting treatment. And Vanessa said when she got better that she would help raise money for these people, and very sadly she never got any better. We'd planned it so that it was happening before the cotton season, but 8 months ago we didn't know that the cotton was going to come in 3 weeks to a month early, which has upset our plans quite a bit. So a lot of those operators are actually working now, but some of them have been kind enough to shut down for the day, or for the 2 days, and lend us their trailers.
We sort of need a tractor to cut our own grain and our own stock, that sort of thing, but we do a bit of outside work too from time to time.
It's been a fairly character-building couple of years.
Yeah, it has, especially the last 12 months. We've been feeding stock for 12 months. We're actually not feeding any at the moment. We're lucky that quite a few around us. We've had a couple of good storms and given us a bit of feed. We're certainly not out of the drought yet, but it's got a bit of a buckle in it anyway.
And I guess being able to get involved in something like this is a bit of a break from the routine.
It certainly is, yeah. It's nice to be involved, yeah. There was no hesitation on our part when Ian Heffernan rang us to be part of it. We were quite happy to come over and do it. Bit of fun and get away from the place for a couple of days.
We were first asked about some months back, and we're only happy to help because it's for a good cause. And where we were working, they give us a time off, carting for a big cotton company, yeah, so pretty good effort there.
It finally dawned after Mick Boyce is a crop dusting pilot who's developed a cauliflower ear organising this event over the past 8 months.
Hello. Putting it together was probably not as hard as it could have been. The government authorities, local and state, jumped on the bandwagon very quickly, and they were very, very helpful. They just could not do enough for us, and just to help us out so much there, it just made it so easy.
For instance, Queensland's Department of Main Roads not only agreed to close off a stretch of the Carnarvon Highway, they graded a gravel side road so the rigs could be safely assembled and disassembled without causing too much disruption to normal traffic.
Obviously, with the huge number of trailers present at the time, at the moment, that's a big logistical concern. But we've got a big area here that we can hook up in, and if we can get everyone organised here, and then we just chuff out there, and hopefully only take an hour or two to get the road train put together. We weren't anticipating this rain that we've had. We wouldn't know it today. It hasn't rained here for 3 years. It rains this weekend. This is always the way it goes.
The mud made manoeuvring these monster trucks tricky and messy to work under. Rue Forster normally manages one of the local cotton farms. You see, someone had to get under each rig and release the air brakes, and Rue drew the short straw. Ordinarily, Rue and his fellow cotton farmers would be right in the thick of harvesting, but production in a drought-ravaged year is down by 2/3, and the harvest that lasts a month or more barely went a week.
Oh, absolutely. From cotton farmers to wheat farmers to sheep farmers to the whole, right down to cotton shippers. We're missing a lot of them, and the town's suffering because of it.
It's an interesting time then to be sort of putting your hand in your skyrocket and helping others.
Well, the interesting thing is the idea. It's been a wonderful thing for Mungindi to focus on rather than complaining about a drought. We're actually excited and interested in making a big truck pull.
And just to prove the appeal of these magnificently absurd events is universal, meet Tim Page, a legendary British photojournalist who was gathering images for the BBC's top-rating motoring show and website, Top Gear.
I guess it's the boys' toys syndrome in every Biggles that we've got. I mean, it's an awesome kind of madness to... How many trucks are going to put together? They're going to put like 85 trailers together and hitch them up and trying to pull them down the road. It's the wacky side of Australia which nobody actually really knows about. Yeah, everybody knows about road trains, I suppose. It's almost an icon, like kangaroos and emus and the rest of it. But there's something about this which is just bizarre.
Mungindi needed to get at least 80 of these trailers hooked up on the highway to beat the record set a couple of years ago in Kalgoorlie. By lunchtime, they'd strung together 87 along the Carnarvon Highway, a world record-breaking road train by any measure.
1,235 metres. 0.30.
There's an old saying in the road transport game that if the wheels aren't turning, they're not earning. So the decision by dozens of truckies to have a weekend off and donate their rigs to this record attempt could collectively cost them hundreds of thousands of dollars on top of the losses they've already copped in the drought. Yet none of these blokes would have missed this for quids.
We probably lose about 4,000 for the weekend, because we run around the clock, yeah.
But it's something you're very happy to do in
this
case.
Yeah, bloody happy, yeah, always happy, yeah. It's team effort, it's hard to get sort of these things happening.
Yeah, well, a lot of people have been sitting around, but I suppose that's more the reason why it's costing them a bit to do this, but yeah, it's a bit of fun and so for a good cause.
This single truck traffic jam drew hundreds of big truck buffs from all over, curious to see whether this 600 horsepower prime mover had the grunt to shift a 1,200-tonne load the required distance for the record.
We travelled all day, most of the day yesterday in the motorhome to get here, just for the truck pull today. As you might notice, I'm a bit of a Mack fan. Used to own Mack trucks, come out here carting cotton, wheat and all that type of stuff. We know a lot of the locals, and it was a good chance to come back and catch up with a few friends and so forth.
John Atkinson's a bit of a Mack bloke too. He's easing up after a long career in road transport. Lately, he's been conducting driver training on new models to the fleet. What's the trick to hauling a load like this?
What I need to do to get this started is to perhaps get some free play in the train And so with that, I'm going to roll these people who are all gouging around here quietly reverse, pick up all the slack in the dollies and whatever, and that should take a fair bit of the load off, and we'll pick it up gradually from there as we go. That's the theory. That's what I've done before. Then once we get to there, it's a matter of how much traction we've got, and we've got the power, and if the drive line holds up. As simple as that. Once I get it going forward, it's up to the truck.
To help prevent wheel spin on the prime mover, the first 2 trailers contained about 40 tonne of grain. All the rest were empty. In the end, it all seemed ridiculously easy and straightforward. No grinding gears, no smoking tyres, and something of an anti-climax after all the work that went in to put this together.
Magnificent effort to be able to pull that amount of weight, really. And happy with the truck, really good, and I'm really happy for the organiser of this setup and the crowd. It's turned out pretty good.
Mungindi is a terrific community too. It's amazing what they can get done over here for a small community. It's a good fun town actually, and everyone gets behind everything.
For the record, there were 87 trailers in the road train that stretched just over 1.2 kilometres.
You know, it's incredible to think that it's pulled, 1,200 tonne, something like that. It's incredible. So, yeah, I'm happy, really. Made my day.